Welcome to the Real Estate Entrepreneurs Podcast.
Welcome to the Real Estate Entrepreneurs Podcast. Today, we have a heavy hitter from the Northeast, Mr. Ben Phillips. How are you?
Doing well,
Thank you so much for taking the invitation.
Yes, sir.
At such short notice. Who are you, man? Where do you come from?
Man, my name is Ben Phillips from Columbus, Ohio. We've been in real estate since 2015, just not branded as well. We've kind of, talked about like we're like the underdogs, I guess,
Right.
And we've kind of prided ourselves in that as far as like just being like the silent killers,
It's better, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
I can relate to you in many different ways when it comes to being the underdog.
Yeah.
In my opinion, it's better to be the underdog than to the guy or the lady that's like recognized all the time and because underdogs have an advantage.
Yep.
And is that you can operate at low key, but still be at a high level.
Correct.
Right?
Yep.
And it's almost like flying on stealth mode.
Yeah.
So I was the underdog for many years in my own town. I started locally.
Yep.
And it was until somebody started knocking on my door in my office looking for me, and I didn't know who the hell he was.
Yeah.
I said, "What are you talking about? Who are you? Like, what do you need me for?" "Oh yeah, I was told you flipped a lot of houses." and I was like, "Okay, come on in, I'll help you out," right? But then I was not the underdog anymore because I was being recognized in the city. But it attracts, when you're not the underdog, it attracts a different type of energy, type of people. They want to come pick on your brains.
For sure.
They take you to lunches and coffee and things like that. And at the beginning, you take it, you accept it, but then it gets to a point where like, maybe I don't have the time for that,
Right.
So let's take you back. So were you grown, did you grow in Columbus?
No. So actually, I have a pretty wild story.
Let's do it. That's what I like. Wild stories all day long.
All right, man. If you want a wild story, then here I am.
Let's go.
I actually grew up 2 hours east of Columbus. It's a small town called Caddis. One red light, not much there. We grew up with nothing. My mom, she worked her ass off to take care of 3 kids. My parents, they divorced pretty early.
Right.
And
how old were you?
Man, I think I was around 5 or 6.
Oh,
I was pretty young.
That was pretty early, yeah.
Yeah. And then, we didn't have anything growing up. My mom, she did the best she could. She worked 3 jobs to take care of 3 bad kids. Thank you, Mom.
Shout out to Mom.
Yes, for sure. But she, we lived in Section 8 apartments.
Okay.
There was nothing in the small town that we grew up in as far as like work or anything like that. But I grew up, man, and when my parents divorced early, I was looking for that father figure, and I found the wrong father figure.
Yeah.
Yep. So I started into drugs very early in life.
How old were you?
I was 12 years old when I started smoking crack. And, smoking crack, yeah.
Now, did you smoke weed before crack, or do you go straight for the crack?
Honestly, it was straight for the crack.
Wow, that's crazy, bro. There was no evolution to the drug addict. Huh?
No, man. I mean, I think I drank a beer and stuff like that before, but like when I found that father figure, I was looking for somebody in my life that was stable that I could look up to and connected with, unfortunately, with the wrong person.
Right.
And I grew up with nothing.
Now, who was it? Was it somebody around your neighborhood or an uncle or like?
No, so it was a neighborhood guy. Actually, it was one of the first guys that my mom met when we moved to this apartment building, and he helped us, move the U-Haul into the apartment and everything like that. The crazy thing is they became good friends, but he had this other lifestyle as well. So it wasn't something, obviously my mom didn't be like, "Hey, here's this."
So how do you get introduced to crack when you're 12?
Yes, I mean that's the thing. Like I always had a little bit of money because I would like work, I would shovel snow, I would cut grass,
whatever,
everything I could do, and that's where the entrepreneur mindset come from. Is like, hey, I don't have anything, I got to make it happen, you know? So we were out fishing one day, and he was just like, and he was a big drug addict, and I didn't know that obviously at 12 years old, and he was like, here, try this. and I did it, and it was
because crack hooks you up right away.
It's very addicting, man.
Yeah.
So from there, it was just kind of game over. I was hooked, and I was like, every little bit of money I had, I was like, hey.
You would smoke it, yeah.
Yep. So yeah, I went down a pretty.
How long were you on crack for?
So I smoked all the way. Like, then that's not the only drug, you know. That was obviously the one.
There comes the menu, like, hey,
yeah, exactly.
Here you are, right? Yeah, of course. But so I guess the right question is, how long were you on drugs for?
I would say, so basically, like, crack is the one that obviously, like, I thought ruined my life, which did. It took me down, like, the darkest paths, the deepest, you know, actually to the end, putting a gun in my mouth, you know? But, like, you know, I can name off all the other ones, but, like, it was like, okay, I'll stop doing this, I got hooked on pills, and then, like, I'd stop doing that, and then I'd get onto heroin or whatever the case may be. For me, it was just like a supplement of things. But
yeah, you're always looking for the next fix. Like,
correct.
What can give me the next high or whatever? Dude, honestly, I got friends that they were big into, like, I mean, these dudes will literally see that plant and smoke it to see if they get high. No, I'm not lying, bro. Like, literally, they'll see that plant, and because they didn't have money to buy the drugs, right?
Yeah.
So they're like, maybe that plant can give me a high. And, you know, their reasoning behind it was, well, Ricardo, who the hell discovered weed?
Right.
Somebody had to be wondering what it was to smoke that.
Yeah.
So, you know what? We may be able to discover the next drug. That's how a drug, you know, habit, like somebody that's doing drugs all the time thinks. Especially if they don't have money, right? You know, I was like, shit, let's go smoke whatever flowers, you know. So it's like, you know, I get it. It's very addicting, right? So crack is like, I had a lot of friends on crack, and thank God most of them are clean today.
Nice.
Man, how long were you on drugs? Like,
I was on
that life,
12 to 27. And
27 years old.
Yeah, 15 years of hell.
That's a lot, dude.
For sure.
So 15 years of hell. I love how you describe it, because people that are on drugs, even though they recognize they're going through a dark path at some point, because sometimes they don't, right? You know, it's the next fix or whatnot. I never been on drugs, but I was a heavy alcoholic, so I would drink a lot, right? I started drinking when I was 12.
Yep.
And it was because my dad gave me a beer, and it was a normal thing to do for a guy like me back then.
Right.
Most kids start drinking and smoking in Venezuela when they're 12.
Yeah.
Literally, you can go to the liquor store and buy it. Like, they're not. They know you're not old enough, and they're like, yeah, here it is.
Right.
No big deal.
Yeah.
So I got pretty heavy into alcohol. I didn't get into drugs because the drugs were not around me. That was it.
Yep.
Because I know that if drugs were around me, oh, dude,
it's game over.
It's game over. Yeah, I would have smoked everything that would in front of me.
Yep.
You know. But what did you do for a living while you were a drug addict?
Yeah, man. So obviously I was pretty young. I was a functional drug addict.
Yeah.
You know, I still wrestled all through school.
Right.
I would have obviously been a lot better. I was still very good, but like I was partying on the weekends, obviously.
Of course.
And
now, were you a drug addict because, I mean, there's different levels to it, right? You got the guy that wakes up and he has to do it, right? Like right away. But then you got the guy that wakes up and he goes to work, and maybe at the end of the day, okay, I'll smoke a little bit, and then you go to bed or whatnot. But maybe on the weekends is when they really go binge, and because they're partying and.
Yeah, man, I was definitely a functional drug addict.
Okay.
You know, I'd wake up and obviously I'd smoke some weed or something like that, but like hitting the crack right away, no, that wasn't my thing.
Okay.
But
you didn't want to go too hard early, right?
Exactly, and that type of thing, you know, it's only a Friday night thing. I get paid on Friday and it's gone. I'm out until I have no money. So for me, it was like, and it's just into real estate and entrepreneurship and everything. For me, it's like go, 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 go. It's all or nothing.
Yeah.
So, you know, Monday through Thursday, no, I wasn't smoking crack because obviously I was broke. I was going to work every day, but I was using other drugs and stuff like that. Yeah. So, as far as that part, no. But Friday when I got paid, it was over with. So, yeah, man, it definitely took me down a lifestyle that obviously I'm not proud of that person that I was.
But you know what, man? You have something that a lot of us don't have, which is redemption, right? And you know, your story can help so many other people.
For sure.
That are going through that path or are in that path right now.
Yeah.
And they don't see the light at the end of the tunnel. Like, and I love that you're open about it, because a lot of people are not. They hide it because they're ashamed of it, or they don't want to be judged.
Exactly.
You know, and I applaud that, man, because it's you can help so many people get out of a dark situation. At least if they see you, they say, well, if Ben got out of it, so can I, right? So I can do it. I can probably maybe, you know, even reach out to you, like, hey, you know, Ben, how do you do this? Like, how is your how do you change your circle? How, you know, how do you quit thinking about doing drugs? I don't know, because I didn't go through that. Right. For me, I was an alcoholic, but then I joined the Navy, and I continued to be an alcoholic while I was in the military. But I couldn't drink as much, because now I was like being told when to wake up, when to go to bed, that kind of stuff, right? But in time, I sort of like started letting it go to the point to where I don't drink as much anymore. Oh, I can get drunk one night, no problems, right? But if we're hanging out, we're partying or something like that. Drugs is different. Like those drugs that you were doing, that's a whole different animal, because you can smoke once and get hooked up on it right away again. And so I'm happy that you're, number one, you're recovered. Number two, that you're open about it. Because your story can help so many people out there.
Yeah, 100% agreed, man. I you know, just to kind of touch on that, like I tried everything, man. I was 12 years old. I started, you know, very young. But like I went to the military, I went to the Army. I couldn't stop. They couldn't force me to stop. I went to boot camp. You know, I ended up failing a drug test.
A drug test. So you got kicked out.
Got kicked out.
Right.
They actually gave me a chance, which they never give you a chance in the military. So they gave me a chance. They were like, we're gonna random you, and I ended up failing another one and then got kicked out.
Right. What branch?
Army Reserves.
Well, thank you for your service.
Yes.
At least you tried, dude.
Hey, exactly.
Hey,
and,
you
know,
you gave it a try.
For sure. And you know, and then I tried the geographical change. I'd move to another state and go to here, and it's like, what I come to find out is that I took myself with me everywhere I went. Like, you know, I had to look deep down inside to myself and be like,
you were recreating your own circle everywhere you went.
Exactly. Yep. So I had to really work on myself, find out what it is. What's my why? Why do I want to change? And, you know, I put my family and everybody, you know, kids and everybody through hell for years. And finally at the bottom, I was just like, it was all or nothing, man. I the last 5 years of my drug addiction, I didn't want to use anymore. I didn't want to live anymore. I remember praying at night, like going to bed, like, can God please just let me use so much that I don't wake up in the morning.
Wow.
And I even put the gun in my mouth a couple times, man. And I just remember, like, there's another reason that I need to live, you know? And you know, it's crazy, but like, this is the reason that I've even started to do podcast. This is our second podcast. And the whole reasoning for me is not to like build a mentorship or branding or pay. It's like, to that point.
Well, this podcast is literally for that reason. It's not to like how big you are or whatnot. We'll talk about that later, but but it's to empower other people.
For sure.
That if you can do it, anybody can.
Yep.
Like literally, this is not about being a rocket scientist or anything like
Exactly.
that. Well, none of us are. You know, like honestly, none of us are.
Hell no.
We all come with either baggage or skeletons in the closet, or, but we still get to become successful at what we do.
Yeah.
I guess because maybe we're stubborn or something, but we just keep on pushing, right?
I want to say it's because we take action. You know, it's like a lot of the times, like, you know, most people will be like, oh, real estate, I want to get into real estate. Let me learn everything. Let me figure out everything from A to Z. And it's like, you can't do that. Like, for me, I truly feel that, like, perfection is procrastination.
Yeah.
I didn't know anything when I got into real estate. I mean, I come from the construction background, but it was like, how do you flip a house? I don't know. I'm just going to buy the house and I'm going to figure it out.
Right.
You know?
So let me take you back a little bit. You were until you were 27.
Correct.
How did you start getting out of it? Like, how was that transition, right?
Yeah, man. So, there was, and just a little bit about it is like, there were so many times that I wanted to stop and tried everything and just couldn't.
Right.
And I remember I just come home one night and Sierra, my partner and better half.
I have so many questions for her now. I'm so happy I put you first because now I have a lot to talk about with Sierra.
She has been through 8 years of hell with me, drug addiction, through the bottom of the bottom.
Wow. Well, and the good thing is I follow both of you guys, and I see the life you guys live now, and wow, it's amazing what you guys are doing today. So
yeah, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Man. And to that, she was pregnant with my second child, our daughter Shyla, and I come home one night from a week-long binge, and she's just like, I got the treatment center booked, I got the flight booked, you're going to treatment in the morning. If you don't go, you're never gonna see me and your kids again. And at that point, I knew she was dead serious because there was other conversations of this.
Of course, yeah.
But that point, and I was completely at the bottom. I didn't care about anything else in life.
Yeah, when you read the body language, you realized at that moment she wasn't lying.
Yeah.
Like she's serious about this now.
For sure. And at that moment, I didn't care about anything else in life besides my kids. Like the time that I put the gun in my mouth, all I could think about was Isaiah and Shyla.
Missing them.
And that's the reason that I did not kill myself
Wow.
at that time, man. And
But I'm so happy you didn't, brother.
same,
Wow.
yeah. We wouldn't even be having this
We
conversation.
wouldn't be here today.
And
Yeah.
I truly think that like my given talent is to give back, to share my testimony, and even our mentors have been telling us for 3 years, hey, you need to start branding. Hey, you need to get yourself out there. You need to get on social media. And for me, like it has not been a priority as far as like for real estate, but now like I've helped so many people in recovery. When I first got clean, I would speak at treatment centers.
Have you ever thought about maybe opening a recovery center?
Yes, I have. There's a lot that goes into that,
Right.
for sure. We have some rental properties and stuff. We've definitely thought about it. But for me, I think that just the passion of helping and giving back is sharing my testimony is going to be the best for me right now.
Right. That's what serves you today. Yeah.
Yeah. Eventually, getting into that, there's a very good possibility. It was a goal when I first got clean, but there's a lot that goes into that.
How was that process of getting clean? So Sierra gave you an ultimatum.
Yep.
You said, all right, let's do it.
Yeah.
You got on the airplane, you went. How was that?
Man. I took her up on her offer.
Yeah.
I definitely went. I went to Florida. I went for 30 days to a treatment center.
Now tell me about the 30 days, man, because that's when you have the shivers and you have all these things that are going through your body because your body needs the chemical, right?
Yeah.
And also the habit.
For sure.
Because it's a habit. The drug addiction is a habit. But it's also chemically, it's not smoking cigarettes. Like I used to be a smoker.
Yeah, same.
But after 3 days, your body doesn't need nicotine anymore. It's just the habit of bringing your hand up to your mouth, and your brain tells you, hey, you gotta go freaking pick up a Marlboro Red. That's what I used to smoke. But in reality, you can go 3 days without a smoke, and then on day number 4 or 5, you still think you need to smoke because your body needs nicotine, and that's not the case. Hey, nicotine is out of your system already.
Right.
It's the freaking habit. So describe to me, man, those 30 days in hell, because it's literally what it was.
Yeah, for sure. Man, definitely detox is not something that I want anybody to go through, but it was definitely hell, but it was also eye-opening for me.
Right.
That was the first time I ever talked to a therapist or opened up. My dad wasn't in my life, so my mom was the mom and dad, and me being the man of the house and the strong person and grow up you don't fucking cry, you just all these
you
things.
Swallow everything, all your emotions, and let's go.
Exactly.
Right.
And I was the tough kid growing up. I was always fighting. I was always holding everything in. So the first time I ever talked to a therapist was in that treatment center, and I just unloaded, man. I literally cried.
Wow.
I unloaded, told everything, and for me, it was the first time I had a freeing experience of God, I'm able to shed the light of what's going on in my life, because prior to that, I was the functioning addict. I was going to work during the day, and I was being a dope fiend at night, you know?
Right.
So living 2 different lifestyles.
Wow.
Been through hell. Pretty much made us homeless and stuff like that multiple times.
Wow.
So when I went there, man, the detox was crazy, but it was an experience for me that I was able to like actually open up and get rid of some of the stuff that I was actually feeling. So.
Wow. So you did your 30 days, you got cleaned up.
Yep.
Do you like punch the walls and shit? Are the walls made out of bricks or what? Like,
No,
I don't know, because I don't.
It's not like you strap me in a suit.
Yeah.
No, so actually I did the 30 days. I got out. I went into like Narcotics Anonymous, all kinds of meetings every day and stuff.
Right.
But what I didn't do, I just went through the steps. I didn't like actually do anything as far as like changing myself. So
Right.
I stayed clean for about 144 days, and then I went back out, started using again, and life just got 1,000 times worse.
Now, did you, at that time when you relapse, is it because of the circle you were hanging out with, or literally you went back to your old friends?
It was not really just the old friends. It was like, one was like I started taking money too soon, because when I first got clean, I mean, like, we can get very deep. I was writing bad checks. I was doing all kinds of stuff. I was stealing,
everything that drug addicts do.
everything that drug addicts do,
exactly.
you know? And when I got clean, I was like, after I got clean, after I relapsed, I was like, okay, I can't have any money on me. I can't have my vehicle because I'll trade that out for dope. I'll try to sell it. I'll do whatever the case may be to try to get that next one.
Right.
So when I relapsed and I came back out, I cut up all my credit cards. I canceled my bank accounts. I did everything that it took. Anything that I knew that like, hey, I could go get dope for or something like that, I got rid of. And that's how I stayed clean, because I changed my people, places, and things, and I literally got rid of everything that I could to even, like, if I had a thought of like getting high.
When you relapse after 144 days, how long were you in it for?
Yeah, so after I relapsed after 144 days, I went back and I didn't go to the treatment center, but I just started going to meetings. I really took like 100% action of like, hey, reaching out to people that were clean, talking about things, getting back into the unloading my feelings and stuff like that.
So you started opening up, basically.
Yeah, that was in June 20th, 2013. So this June 20th will be 9 years clean, clean and sober. No drugs, no alcohol, no nothing, man.
Congratulations, man.
Yeah, thank you.
Congratulations. So, all right, you got clean now.
Yep.
Second time around.
Yeah.
Now Sierra is happier, right? Because she didn't have to deal with the crazy one anymore, right? How does your personality change from? Because you're a very strong guy, like, and you're a gung-ho, like you go. But how does your personality change from the drug addict to the sober guy now?
Yeah.
Like, how much different were you from the old guy to the new one?
Yeah, man, I obviously I had a lot to work through, but to be honest, I was a fucking animal in the addiction.
Yeah.
So I just transferred that to entrepreneurship.
Right.
I always had that entrepreneurship mindset.
Yeah.
Like, I'd cut grass, I'd shovel
You
stuff.
did whatever you had to do.
Whatever it takes, and that's what it takes in real estate, and at least for me in any business.
It
Like
does.
I transferred that hustle of like getting high, getting that next one to like in real estate.
I gotta
Get that next deal. Get that next deal. Get that next deal. So, for me, the transition was just kind of easy. It's not dope no more. It's real estate.
Got it. So when did you discover real estate?
2015.
So for 2 years.
2 years.
What do you do, like, in between getting out and real estate?
2 years. Sierra will tell you this. I think I had 8 different jobs.
Okay.
Didn't get fired from any of them. I was just like, hey, I want to be a cable guy. Nope, I don't want to do that. Because literally when I got clean, I was basically that 12-year-old boy that started smoking crack at an early age.
Yeah, you were living life again.
Exactly.
But this time it's clean.
I didn't know who I was. I had to realize, hey, what do I actually want to do in life? Who do I want to be? And I know that, like, after those jobs, like, I didn't want to work for anybody. So I started a handyman business. I did flooring, tiling, kitchens, and bathrooms. Started that business. We built that up. And then in 2015, we got our first rental property in real estate.
Who did you learn from back then?
Yeah, so we actually, you'll hear on the radio, Fortune Builders.
Yep.
We got pulled into one of those 3-day seminars, and I was like, the marketing is, hey, flip houses with not your money or whatever. So
Sign me up.
Sign me up. Yeah, we went there, and we ended up signing on one of the lower grade coaching programs, and man, it got us started. They helped us create.
Fortune Builders is good. In my opinion, it's helped out a lot of people.
It has.
I have coaching students that went through Fortune Builders before, and what I noticed is that these guys had a little foundation for what I was about to give them.
Yeah.
So I didn't have to work on that foundation so hard, which is the simple stuff, the ARV, prices, this and that, right?
Yeah.
And even Caesar, he's been my friend for years. Years.
Yeah.
And in 2008 or 9, I told him, I said, dude, I'll show you real estate. Come on over. I'm doing it already. He said, hey, I don't know about that. And he went and paid Fortune Builders. He went and paid like 3 or 4 or 5 different coaching companies. He probably put $100,000 out there before he finally came to me.
Right.
And I found out about all these companies that he paid.
Yeah.
Because I understood that he knew something. I said, dude, did you ever get like a coaching program? Well, I pay Fortune Builders. And I'll say, oh no, Armando Montelongo. I'll say, how much you paid that dude? Because I know he's not cheap.
$50K?
Yeah, I don't know. He was $25,000.
Yeah.
And then I did lifestyles, and that was another whatever. And I did these other guys, and I'll say, okay, how come you haven't done real estate, dude?
Right.
Well, I guess I wasn't ready. And I was okay, are you ready now? Because now you're going to do it with me. So, but I'm a firm believer. I don't think Fortune Builders is around anymore. I think they went into like multifamily now.
Yeah. I don't think they do the coaching anymore. But what it did was just got us started, man.
Yeah.
Like you pay attention to what you pay for. So like we paid an investment for it, and we took the action. Now, it's not like the marketing like we do or anything like that. And we started out in flipping. So, but actually what it did was it taught me how to creative finance. And I started out, we didn't have any money. So like just to get into that, I dumped my 401k that I actually had and, invested the money for the coaching. And basically it taught me seller finance. So I was calling the Craigslist ads, trying to find a first deal. We ended up finding our first rental property in 2015. And I was just like, hey, will you seller finance this deal? She was like, yeah, let's talk about it. So it was $47,000. She wanted $5,000 down and a 12-year note. So basically I was like, this deal works, This is a deal we can get in for $5K. I didn't have the $5K, so. But
you're going to figure out where to get $5K.
Figured it out, man. Yeah. So I was just like, we had like $1,000 in a bank account. Sierra's like, you're not taking our money. I'm like, this deal works, So basically what I did was I took money off of a credit card to get the rest of the down payment, like $2,000. And then the last $2,000, I took my truck up to a max title loan place and was like, you get this loan against your truck.
Dude, you and I are so much alike.
Yeah.
You have no idea.
Yeah.
I've done stuff like that. Because I commit to the deal because my mind, I'm going to figure out where to get that money from.
Right. And I think that's a skill set. Like it's the survival tactic of animals, Like we're out in the wild. We have to make it happen. And that's the mindset I have. Like from sports and, going through drug addiction, being at the bottom, like no matter what happens, like I'm investing in myself, I'm banking on myself, and I'm going to make it work no matter what. So, man, it took 23% interest off my credit cards. The truck loan was like 50%.
Yeah, they're sharks. These dudes are sharks. They really want to get your truck for half the price.
Oh yeah, it was crazy, man. But like the thing is like it was $388 a month for the mortgage payment for a 12-year note, and I knew we could rent it out for $900 a month. So
that's a no-brainer.
$388 to the mortgage.
No-brainer, dude.
We'll
a little bit on insurance.
And taxes. If
you're gonna slap some paint or whatever, make it functional at least,
Yeah, we cash flowed $500 a month on it, and then that was in 2015. We just refinanced that property. I could sell it right now for $178.
Wow.
So
that's
almost 3 times.
3 times the initial cost of the property.
Cost of the property, yeah. But
did you refinance it?
We did refinance it.
Okay, so you got the other lady out of it, and
correct. Yep.
And now you pay 0 taxes on that money.
Yeah, exactly.
It's literally on your pockets now, so you can go do more, right?
For sure.
So all right, so So you got that initial property is it 15 or 16?
2015.
2015.
Yes.
So you right away, boom.
Yep.
You went through the course.
Yeah.
You're like, I got it.
Yep.
I'm gonna go make offers. You got it. What was the evolution of the investor after you got that one property?
Yeah, so the getting into the flipping was our next step,
Right.
and basically same thing. You know, I bought that rental property, but that didn't bring us any capital.
Right.
That took $5,000.
It takes your money out. Yeah,
Yes.
definitely, yeah.
So we still needed to bring capital into the business. So like we were like, okay, now we have to get into flipping. So which I wanted anyways because I had the construction background. It was easier for me a transition from like the remodeling company into fixing the
Right.
houses. So I was still calling Craigslist every day, calling bandit signs. Hey, trying to find wholesalers, trying to find investors. Finally found a deal from a wholesaler. Paid the wholesaler $29K for the deal. We bought it for $38,000. We ended up selling our house to get our personal home to get the money to buy the house. So
Wow.
like I came home one day and I was like, hey, the market's appreciating. We're going to sell our house. We're going to take the profits and we're going to buy a flip. She's like, are you on drugs again?
No, I'm not. Trust me, this is a legitimate deal we're doing here.
Exactly. You know? So we ended up selling our personal home and made $38,000 on it. Bought our first flip for exactly $38,000 and opened up $120,000 in credit cards for the rental or for the renovation.
Right.
So 0%, $120K. It had like 12 different credit cards.
Did you do the fund and grow thing, or you were doing it on your
It was
own?
another company, but it
So
wasn't
somebody was
them.
coaching you through it.
Correct.
Right,
Yeah. So
okay.
they opened up a bunch of credit cards for us.
Yeah, they're worth it. I tell
Yeah.
people all the time, you got good credit?
Yeah.
Yeah. Go get as many credit cards as you can.
Exactly.
Right now. Like 0% interest because you're going to be able to rehab houses,
Yep.
put down payments, do all kinds of crazy things with
Yeah.
it. But when we have, and I've had good credit and bad credit, and when we have good credit, we take it for granted.
Yeah.
100%. Like, well, I'm afraid, I don't know. Like, I was like, no, man, go get as much as you can because you get that 0% money.
Yeah.
Man, you can be buying a house at the title company by swiping a credit card and refinancing it in 30 days.
Yeah. Brother, people say all the time, cash is king. Cash is king, but credit is power.
It's power.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if I didn't have the cash of 120K, we knew we had decent credit and we could get the credit cards. So we ended up making like $38,000 or $40,000 on that deal and just dumped it into the next one. Started flipping and flipping. What we eventually learned was like the flipping is we still flip today, and we can kind of get into that.
Yeah. Yeah, I was impressed, man, when I met you guys back in a year ago now.
Yeah.
In Tulum.
Yep.
And you had all these rehabs going on, right? And my thing is, I had PTSD with rehabs. I'm like, man, I don't want to know anything about a rehab anymore because I got my ass handed back to me in between 17 and 2021. But you were telling me how you were handling your contractors, and I was like, man, you must have some real good contractors. And you say, yeah, we have a lot of trust on those guys, and you have multiple projects. I cannot remember how many there were, but there were a few of them you were running at the time.
Yeah, right now we actually anytime have from about 6 to 10 properties going on.
Okay.
I think right now we have 8 properties under construction.
How long does it take you to and when you say under construction, it's on the rehab? You're
Correct.
not building them up, right?
No.
Not
no,
yet.
No.
That bug hasn't bit you yet? Or?
It has, but like with COVID and stuff, our business model now is I want to be in and out in 6 weeks. So if I have to take the drywall off, I'm probably not going to do it.
Are you guys wholesaling?
We're wholesaling, yes.
Okay, so
Yep.
you're wholesaling and flipping.
Correct. And rental properties.
And that's your end strategy is to rent them out? Or
Yeah, so right now, like in 2019, we restructured the business. We joined Carlos Reyes and them
Absolutely.
mastermind.
Shout out to the all-in entrepreneurs.
Yes, sir.
All-in nation. So.
So we were doing full gut rehabs to there up to 2019, and we were buying from wholesalers, buying from referrals, however we could get them. And then we were just like, hey, how do we wholesale? Because our first deal, we paid somebody $29,000.
A lot of money, yeah.
And she was like, well, we need to do that. And I'm like, no, I like the construction.
We need to figure out how to cut those guys out. Yeah.
Yep. So in 2019, November 2019, we joined the Elite Mastermind, and we started doing our own marketing. And from there, we just blew the business up.
Yeah.
So our first year, we did $850K, and that was the year of COVID. And so 2 months, it was 2020, 2 months of absolutely no revenue. We actually didn't even start until February. So basically 4 months with no revenue because March and April were zero because of COVID happened.
Right.
So 8 months of revenue, we did 850. The next year we did 1.6 million. And this year we're on track to do 3 million.
Now, those 1.6 million, was that a combination in between flips and wholesale deals?
That's a combination with flips and wholesales.
And what about your rentals? Like, how do you handle that side of the business?
Yeah, so we have 48 rental properties right now.
All around the city, or do you have them in different cities?
All around the city.
Okay.
So mostly Columbus. We have a fourplex in Cincinnati and a fourplex in Dayton.
Okay, but they're not far away.
Not very far, about a half hour away. But within 2 years, we built 48 rental properties. The 8 that we have under construction, there's probably 4 or 5 of those that are going to be rentals.
Are you going to refi them out, or?
Correct. Yep.
Okay, so let's talk about the rentals. The rentals how many of those do you get under creative financing?
Man, so most of them now, I would say are not. We probably, out of the 48, we probably have only like 5 or 6 that are creative
financing.
Yep.
The other ones, you bought them, private money, hard money, or whatever.
For sure.
Took over, fixed them.
Yep.
Then put a tenant in it, refi, go to the next one.
Yeah, so we don't do it on a one-off basis. We do it on a portfolio. So we'll take like 10 properties, fix them up, and then take that to a blanket loan.
That's what I call flipping chunks.
Exactly.
Yep, I did that for a very long time. I just flipped chunks. It was 10 at a time, 10 at a time, 10 at a time, and I put them on the portfolio loans.
So we take, we do the Burr method on just a little bit bigger of a scale, and we get those 200K cash out refi checks.
Yeah, and the lender loves that because they take you more serious.
Exactly.
Like, this guy's coming in with 10 deals. They try not to screw you over, you know, depending on who you're working with, because they know that and in my case, when I was doing that, I'm not doing it anymore. Everything I'm buying is creative finance, like 100%. That's a rule I got on my company now.
Really?
Anything that smells like creative financing, that's what I'm going after.
Yeah. That's always our first shot, but a lot of the times we just end up refinancing out of it.
Right. Yeah, if you fall in love with the property and it's in a good location, why not, right? But in my case, so I got to 107 houses back in 2012, and I hated it.
Yeah.
I didn't like it. Like,
really?
I did not enjoy being a landlord. I could care less for it. And then I started liquidating everything. I went to flipping, and then we started flipping at a scale, and we were making a lot of money.
Yeah.
I mean, 2017 in July, man, I was looking at Lambos and Ferraris, and we had the cash to pay for those things cash. Like, we were swimming in cash.
For sure.
And then Harvey came in. I had some rentals, but those were like the ones that we had to keep because we had to keep them. You know, it wasn't because we couldn't. You know, it was because we couldn't sell them or something.
Right.
So we ended up becoming landlords by necessity, right? And we offset taxes that way.
Yep.
But I still don't enjoy it. Like, you talk to me about a rental, I was like, I don't care for it. But it's a necessary evil when you're making money, because otherwise you're either going to pay the IRS or you put it on rental properties.
Yeah, I mean, there's 3 ways to make money in rental properties. That's cash flow, that's depreciation, and appreciation.
Yeah.
So like all the markets that we're in, we cash flow on them $300 to $500 a month. We take the depreciation across our wholesaling and our flipping because wholesaling and flipping is the highest.
It's big checks, and they tax you at the highest rate.
Yeah, it's the highest tax bracket. And then the appreciation, everything, like Columbus market has appreciated over 18% last year. So if it continues that, in 5 years, I double my value of the portfolio.
Right.
So right now we have around a $10 million portfolio.
Right.
5 years, that turns into 20.
Yep.
I'm okay with that.
And then you refi that out.
Yep.
How much money do you pull that out, and it's tax free?
Right. Yeah,
right.
And we have 50 rental properties, 48 right now. Our goal is to hit 100 this year, and we will do that. I'll make it happen. So
This year?
This year.
So you're going to buy another 50 in what we got left?
Correct.
And rehab them. And how long does it take you to... So let's talk about the avatar for your rentals, right?
Yeah.
How much rehab do you put into it?
So our average rehab is around $35,000.
Okay.
Yep.
Now,
so,
do you make them look like granite and so...
Yeah. So what
you make it as if you're going to sell them.
Yeah. So basically, our model is the same as far as a flip to a rental. It's we put the same tile, we put the same floor LVP, the same paint, the same everything. across the board. That's how I'm able to scale the rental or the construction side, because every flip is the same.
You don't have to think about the backsplash. You don't have to think about, what granite I'm going to put here. No, it's called the Luna Gray. That's the one we're using.
Exactly. Subway tile, quartz countertops. And the thing is like I put that money in the rental properties because, one, I want somebody to walk into the home and be like, okay, now I feel at home.
No, and if you have to sell it, it's ready.
If I have to sell it, it's ready.
Yeah, I did the same. My process was the same as yours.
They all get quartz countertops, they get backsplash, they get tiled showers, LVP floor. And the other thing too is like I'm hard surfacing the rentals. So like, no carpet in the rental properties. I don't have to replace that every tenant turnover. It's whenever
I learned that on my first rental. Never put carpet on it.
Yeah.
Because they destroy that thing.
They destroy it.
It was nasty and filthy.
Yep. It's hard surfacing it. So basically when the tenants move out, I go in and clean and touch up paint and then re-rent it out.
Do you guys have over there, because I've never been to where you are. Like, do you guys have pier and beam houses? Like with crawl space underneath?
We do. So like that's the thing about Columbus is like some parts of Columbus has like a lot of foundation issues and water issues. So like that's the thing. We don't buy prior to 1940 because it has knob and tube electric. Our avatar, like you said, is like a 3-1 or 3-2 smaller house. Like most of our rentals aren't 2,000 above. They're less than 2,000 square foot. So it's easy to get in and get out of.
Yeah, and the rehab is not as extensive.
The rehab's not as extensive, correct.
So, and the reason I ask you about the pier and beam is because I learned, like, so in Houston we have the same issues. Foundation.
Yep.
Like in Houston we say you either have a foundation problem or you're gonna have a foundation problem. So for us, foundation, okay, no big deal. We just gotta add X for.
Yep. You need beams. You need waterproofing.
Done.
Yep.
Right. But what I discovered was early on, the vinyl flooring wasn't as what it is today. Like you go to the Home Depot or whatever, and there's beautiful vinyl flooring that looks like wood, right?
For sure.
Back then I was using laminate, and what happens on crawl space foundations is when the moisture gets underneath, that laminate buckles, right? Yeah. So the vinyl doesn't, because vinyl is glued or
it's waterproof.
It is waterproof.
Yeah.
So it doesn't affect it as much. Do you guys have that problem there?
We do, yeah.
Okay.
So we have a lot of foundation and water issues, but we use vinyl plank and everything.
Right.
So and we obviously fix everything before we go in there. If we have to waterproof the basement, we do that.
Okay.
I have a guy that gives me a really good deal.
What does it cost I've never done a basement house, so I'm curious about it.
To put a perimeter drain in, for me, a whole perimeter drain, I'm actually doing one on our rentals right now. It's $3,500.
Oh, wow.
But that's my guy that just does that. If I go to a basement guy, it's going to be $15,000.
Yeah.
Yeah. Beams are running around $350 a beam. So if I have to do a whole basement, it might cost me like $6,000 to $8,000.
Okay.
So to put beams and waterproof the basement, I'm typically around like $10,000.
Now, do people there convert the basement into living spaces?
We do.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you make a third bedroom out of it, or the living room area, or the what do you call it, the man's cave?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, on our flips, we always try to do that if the comps support. Rentals, I only buy a two-bedroom rental if I could put a basement a bedroom in the basement.
Got it. So that's how you turn it into 3-1s.
Correct. Yep.
Good deal, man. So yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, like, back to that like the way we buy is like we put quartz countertops, everything nice in there, and then we force the market rents up. Columbus is a very good cash flowing market to rent. So typically we're making $300 to $500 minimum.
So you don't mind listing the property and waiting for it for a couple of months until somebody bites on your price?
No. Yeah, exactly. Because I'm typically about 200.
Yeah, you're above. You're raising the rents.
For sure. And what that does also is it weeds out the spam of like somebody that's willing to pay more than market rents is typically going to take care of the
They're
place.
better qualified as well.
Correct.
Yeah, Drew, I did the same exact thing for years. I actually I bought this one property one time in a city called Angleton, which is south of Houston. It's just a suburb. Gotcha. And I asked my agent at the time, who later on became one of my business partners, I said, Dennis, how much can we get for this property? And he goes, well, I think, he's looking at the MLS. I said, Ricardo, there's nothing for rent.
Yeah.
Nothing. And I said, man, I don't know, that's weird, dude. Like, what do you mean there's nothing for rent? He's like, there's nothing. I don't have any history for the last 3 years. I said, okay, but what do you think we can rent this for? You're the agent. Like, you should know these numbers.
Right.
He said, well, I think we can get $1,200. And I said, nah. Go ahead and put it for $1,750.
Yeah.
He said, $1,750? Are you out of your freaking mind? And he started getting on my ass, literally, because I went like $500, $550 above. The first day I got 5 offers.
Yeah.
And I said, man, I should have done $1,900. Because I do the same thing. I go above and I push, now I'd rather go high and then have to bring it down a little bit and adjust it to the market value or whatever.
Yeah.
If I have the property vacant for 90 days and nobody takes it, okay, I'm going to bring it down.
Yeah.
But I like that you do that because then you rehab them right, number one. So your property is probably the best one on the market.
Yeah, they rent out typically within 2 to 3 weeks. Like most of the time they don't stay on the market, and if they do, I just drop it $50 every week. So.
Now, do you take on your tenants? Do you take people with like bad credit, bad jobs, things like that? Like,
so we have a grading scale, basically. Obviously, you guys heard my past. I, two-time felon, drug addict that created a successful life with my family and partner and stuff. So we definitely look at people like if you have bad credit, you're not an X. It's kind of an average across the board: income, credit, and background check.
Right. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, because I took everybody, bro. But what I did is, if you had a very bad background, but you got okay credit and your job, like we get that in Houston all the time.
Yeah.
The guy's a pipe fitter. He makes a ton of money at the refinery. But you know how those guys are. They make their check and they go drink on the weekends.
Right.
And they don't pay their credit cards on time.
Yep.
Maybe they went to jail for some reason.
For sure.
But I'm not going to judge them because they went to jail, because most of us have been to jail for some reason, for one reason or another, right? But, I would say, okay, hey, you want to live here? It's 3 months deposit.
Yeah.
Like, I make it hard to where I don't turn them down. But if they come up with 3 months, hey, brother, come on in. You can sit right here, no big deal, because in Texas, the law protects the landlord big time. How is it in Ohio?
It's for the landlord, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's a little bit difficult sometimes with the evictions and stuff like that, but...
No, over there in Houston, man, 30 days. That's it. You're gone.
Oh, they give us extension, or give the tenant extension sometimes.
No,
typically, we'll get 30 days, but then they go to court and they give them an excuse, and it'll be
not there,
a 30-day extension.
They're very landlord-friendly there. So,
gotcha.
Don't get me wrong, I don't have many properties today. I probably have 5 to 10, something like that. But I don't even know the exact number. Go figure. I don't care for them, honestly. I only have them because I need them. Other than that, I just bought one yesterday too. We just put it under contract in Kansas. So.
Oh wow.
I picked it up for $12,000 on terms. Give it to me. I'll take it. It's like, what is that? How much is it? Like $333 a month for 36 months. It's 0% interest. How can I say no to that?
Right. Exactly.
It's like, so. All right. So you guys do fix and flips. You got your portfolio going on. What does your wholesaling operation look like?
Yeah, so we typically do, so as far as marketing, we're around, I think we are at $25,000 a month for marketing and stuff. We have 5 cold callers in Columbus, 5 in Florida. We're in Columbus, Florida. We just expanded into North Carolina, Tennessee, Atlanta, and Las Vegas. So
that's the markets you're targeting.
We just expanded, so we literally just let marketing go last week. But Florida, Columbus, or Ohio, and Florida are
PPC.
We are doing PPC.
You are doing PPC also. Okay, so you got cold calling and PPC going on.
Cold calling, PPC, SEO, and TV commercial.
How is TV working out for you?
TV is doing pretty well in Ohio. We only do that in Ohio.
Okay.
Yep.
Yes, more for the local model.
Correct. Yep.
Do you go on appointments? Do you have people going on appointments for you?
No, we're completely virtual. So that's why when we did market expansion out of Ohio, we went to Florida and the other markets. It's just same SOP. When we were in Ohio, even in our backyard, if it's right around the corner, we're not going to the house. Everything's over the phone. Everything's virtual. We're locking up the deal over the phone.
Yeah, I do. I'm the same way, dude. I wholesale a house 2 blocks away from my house. I never went to see it.
Right. Yeah. 99% of the time, we never meet the seller. We never do any of that stuff. So.
Well, I was wondering because of the TV ads, right? When you do that locally, most guys that do that, they have somebody going out on appointments and creating that, belly to belly conversation or whatnot. But
no, our acquisition, I mean, they always want to talk to Sierra and I. We want to talk to the one on the commercial, but our acquisition does a really good job of building rapport and getting straight to the point.
Good deal, man. So what's next for you guys? Like, what's the future? What are your goals for maybe the next 5 years?
Yeah, man. So definitely we want to build the rental portfolio as well. That's a big thing for us as far as we want to hit 100 this year. Next year we'll probably want to double that. So, and then the wholesaling, $3 million this year.
Why not go into multifamily?
Man, as far as me, yes, everybody says go big, and I've kind of been on the fence and going back and forth. Last couple of years, if you'd caught me a year ago, I'm like, yes, let's go for multifamily. But as I start to think about it a little bit more, and the way the market's going, I want to be protected. So I feel like residential is easy to sell off.
You can never go wrong with residential. That's a fact.
Correct.
I mean, residential rides the wave up and down. Actually, when foreclosures happen, the rents go up. So yeah, the values drop, but the rents go up because people are giving up houses, so they got a place to live. They need a place to live.
Yep. And I think that having a yard and having a garage and stuff like that is more appealing to a tenant. So.
And do you have a team that manages these properties? Like they go do the work when it breaks? Your same contractors? How do you handle that?
No, it's not the same contractors unless they had just rehabbed it. If they rehabbed it within 30 days and a faucet breaks or something like that, then they go replace it. But after that, we have a property management company.
Got it. Okay.
Yep.
Well, good deal. So you're gonna hit $3 million in assignments this year, right?
Yes.
How many deals is that?
What's
your average assignment?
So our average wholesale assignment is 17. Our
standard, that's where we are too.
Yeah, and then our average flip is 45,000. So
good.
Yeah.
So the $3 million, that's a combination of the two.
Correct. Yep.
Awesome. Good deal, man.
Yeah.
Well, brother, thank you so much for telling me your story about how bad of a bad boy you were and how good of an investor you are today, because you definitely got a lot of great things going your way, especially on the landlord side and fixing and flipping and wholesaling. $3 million, it's a great number.
Yeah, I mean, it's $250 a month. We're on track to do it. So we might undershoot ourselves. We might hit $4 million.
Before you know it, man, do you operate under the VTO, Vision Traction Organizer? Okay.
No.
When you get yourself a Vision Traction Organizer, you're gonna blow past those numbers in no time. I have a couple of friends that I train on it.
Okay.
I learned it from Sean Terry years ago.
Gotcha.
And I didn't even learn it from Hero 101.
Right.
I bought a course from him called the 100K Wholesaler at the time. And he explained the VTO, and I'm like, I learned about it. I read the book Traction, because it has to do with traction.
Right.
And then I had to read 3 times because I'm ADD, and so I'm like, I forget things, and then I was like, man, I gotta go read it again. But as soon as I started implementing that, when we set out on a 3-year goal, because it makes you reverse engineer. You got to go set up a 10-year goal first.
Yeah.
That's where most people struggle. 10 years, man, that far out, how do I really think about this?
Yeah.
I don't even know what the hell I'm doing next year, right?
Right.
So it makes you set a 10-year goal. Then you go from a 10 to a 3, from a 3 to 1, then from 1 to the quarter, and then you solve all your rocks and challenges and things.
Gotcha.
And what I discovered was every time I put a 3-year goal, I did it in a year and a half.
Yeah.
Because I'm compressing now, I'm pushing towards getting that to that number or to the number of flips or rehabs.
Exactly.
And so once you start learning about it, man, and you put it on paper, and you review it every quarter with your team members, and man, before you know it, dude, 3 million becomes 6 million. Yeah. Because it's just it starts growing out of control too. You know. Because now you got, I just did 20 houses that I refied. It's the same effort to do 10 than 20. It's the same exact thing.
Yep.
It just takes more people.
For sure.
That's it, more contractors.
Yeah.
So then you start putting those pieces together, and before you know it, you got a $10 million operation, dude.
Right, exactly.
So it's crazy. Man, I love it. Thank you so much, brother.
Yeah, definitely, man. I appreciate you having me on. I just want to say, kind of I need words, I guess. For me and my testimony is, never let your past define your future. Like, it's definitely something that I'm not proud of, but it's made us successful in the way we are today. And, if I can do it, anybody can do it.
Dude,
sure.
and this is like, I talk about it a lot.
Yeah.
Because I lived the nightmares of a real estate investor.
Yeah.
What is the nightmare of a real estate investor? Defaulting on loans, having houses foreclosed on, having private lenders sue you and win lawsuits.
Right.
I went through all that stuff.
Yep.
And if I would hold on to that, there's no way I would be doing what I'm doing today.
Right.
I would have stayed in the past.
Yep.
And I would have crawled into a corner crying like a little bitch. Yeah, because that's how you feel when all these things are coming at you, right?
Exactly.
But I'm like, hey, you know what? It is what it is. I messed up, or in my case was a hurricane that came and took my business out.
Yeah.
Now, could I have done things differently? I didn't know any better.
Right.
I wasn't part of masterminds, which is something we do now. Like, I make sure I'm on a mastermind all the freaking time.
Yeah.
Because if I got a problem, somebody in that room is gonna have something to do with that in the past. Like,
exactly.
You know what, Ricardo? I went through that.
Yep.
And this is how I handle it, and this is how I got out of it.
Yeah.
But at the time, I was by myself, so I just didn't know any better. But it was like and I tell people all the time, like, if you're going through hell, that's not where you stop.
Yeah. Why would you stop in hell?
Why? You don't stop there. You just got to keep on moving, right?
Yep.
So I love your story, man. You got a book in you.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I will connect you with somebody that will probably help you do that.
For sure.
And guys, attend Growth June 24th, 25th, 26th in Houston, Texas. Make sure you get your tickets. We only got like 15 VIPs left and about 100 general admission. This is not a big event. It's more of an intimate setting. I'm looking forward to see you there. Ben, thank you so much, bro. I appreciate you. It's been my pleasure. And see you on the next one. Bye.